Good afternoon. Are you still awake? From here, we are on the Demo Showcase 5, which is going to might connect to many people. It's about digital transformation. Audience, all the panelists here are the experts. Before we start, I'll ask the three of the experts to share about your organization, your role, your industry, the part in the insurance industry. Starting from Ms. Orapun from McKinsey, as the consult, you have experiences, with the insurance company. Can you please share the overall picture of the insurance business this year? What is the, positive spin? What is the downside of it? Good afternoon. So from McKinsey and company, looking at the market from the life insurance, we talk about health. It's clear that Q1 is the sales that we see a lot with the co-payment. When it's introduced, people are alert about it. People take action more strongly with health. And another way is the wealth management, discussing the insurance as well, bank, asset management, and also the insurance. Speaking of wealth and customer, in the market, it's affluent. Some people are having high attention on this. We try to prepare the product for this. Speaking of the negative factors, challenges, one thing is that on the economy, uncertainty, unstable geopolitical risk that we face, normally the sentiment, people try to save up, is very risky for the future. And so on the insurance, we have been highly impacted. We have inflation rate. We have a lot of anything that has an impact on us that is on the negative impact. This is the brief big picture. Thank you. I kind of think that if you look into the negative side, people are going to buy more insurance because they try to have more security for themselves. But no, okay. Mr. Bin, because Bureau 8 is a transformation firm, you see any challenges in the change in your business, for example, AI? Good afternoon. In my perspective, when I get to see in the insurance industry, like we have JAV, and also we have Thiraya Insurance, Tip Holding, and this is the new company called T8. We have digital arm and AI arm for the group of Thiraya. And the first year that we see opportunities in so many dimensions. In the past year, speaking of the trend and opportunity with the business, digital business, let's say the insurance, we do digital transformation a lot. Overall, new digital technology disrupt the industry overall. But in the past 2 years, when we start to have AI, it's something that technology they have their own mind. They can analyze. Once that happens, it's like a digital transformation, but on the steroid. In the perspective, seeing many the insurance company using AI, there's 4 views. First is discussing on personalization or customer experience, using AI as a tool. Secondly, this is on automation. In the past, we do RPA, but RPA, that's logical. If then else, once AI kicks in, they can think for themselves, they can apply, they can make decisions. And third, that is on bringing the knowledge and data in your organization, bringing it for everyone. Everybody can have access more easily. And that data in your organization combined with Gen AI using different model, utilize it and make it beneficial. Last, that is on bringing AI to create new S-curve models, new S-curve growth. And so the trend from what I see, this is like different organization try to develop their own pilot AI projects in the industry of insurance. That's the transformation on steroid. Wow, sounds really cool. That means it can go even faster than before. That means, of course, there's going to be more risk that we have to discuss after this too. Let me move on to Mr. Win from Microsoft. So for you as a leader in technology, you see challenges and opportunities bringing in technologies to the insurance industry. Microsoft, at the moment, we are one part of AI solution provider. So we partner with many companies. One thing that Microsoft see, we don't just think that AI would be one technology, like exciting new things, but AI is going to transform businesses. Before we are digital transformation, but now we even go deeper one step. We talk about AI transformation, specifically like how does AI impact everything. We don't just think that AI, what can it actually excite us, but how does it actually make true impact to businesses? Recently, early this year, Microsoft has one study. We call it Work Trend Index. Work Trend Index, we ask around the world, our customers, and 300 customers of Microsoft and Microsoft partner, 300 businesses, we found that in Thailand, to be specific, we are looking into, we are having the capacity gap era. Every companies, people feel that they do it fully because at the moment everything is fast. The pace now is really, really fast. They work like 80-90%, almost maximum capacity. But when you interview the CEO, the management people, they said there's room to implement. They think only 50%. What happened is that the people feel drained if you push further. Well, the people think they do 80-90%, but the manager, CEO think you can only do 50. People think you can do double your capacity. Capacity gap happens. They think that AI is going to help bridging the expectation and the manpower you put into the work. AI would help productivity for the staffs. So in the Microsoft perspective, AI transformation, any industry, insurance industry as well, there are 4 areas we can look at. Similar to what happened to what you share now, Microsoft look into one, the employees, reshape the employees' experience, because once you have tools, good tools, productivity increase automatically. Secondly, customer engagement, that we can do even better than before, closer to personalization. The third, that's the business process, that you have to reshape business process. If it's too slow, how do you streamline, right? 10 times better or even faster. From like hours to seconds, right? If you can automate, do it. Last, if we can come up with new product, new services using AI to help to be the booster, to be the catalyst. We have 4 things, and that transfer to AI agents. And so AI agent doing what? Is the AI model that we see the intelligence. Whatever we ask, they get the answer. They are trained to be task-specific agent. So once it has that quality, the AI agent who's knowledgeable, understanding context, the AI would be able to be, work specifically, be an expert in each area. In the speed or in the capacity, that's better than human being. At the same time, Microsoft see that from studying the people can be the managers of agent or AI agent. So you can supervise the AI. Humans can be the one who check the escalation. And that would go accordingly with human and AI. And that is a confirmation how human is still essential. We call our new program Microsoft Pilot. We use the same model as a ChatGPT, but we have the tuning system to fit with how the company is working. We don't do the risk in terms of giving the answer that's violating anything. Co-pilot is what? You help the pilot, right? Straightforward. Microsoft is the same. Human-centric, that's how we use it. But we use technology as tools. The co-pilot is only helping you to do better. And the AI agent is going to be the function, the feature adding on top of that. So if you're going to use co-pilot with Microsoft, you're going to see the agent like you're going to see more and more specific or expert program. You see in my hand, we have researcher agent, and I use it a lot all the time when I get on stage and I work with the people. This is the one that would help you search information on the internet on the SharePoint from Microsoft that I can access. And they can consolidate everything for me. What are the talking point, A, B, C, D, talking to different people. Let's say on the stage, around the world, I can search what Microsoft around the world is doing. This is the researcher agent. They do one thing, they do research. The other thing, we call it analyst agent. It's the agent that I throw all the files in and I ask them to find the insight, what they can find, what I should know from this. So I can streamline my time to save the time to read through everything. Then I'm not going to say that that's going to be final solution that's going to answer everything in the world. At least I say that it saves a lot of time. It can pre-work for me so I can have time to do other things, right? So coming down to how do we bridge the gap, capacity gap that we can expect this and that to happen? Microsoft see all the company who do on this or kind of work in AI, we call them frontier company. It's a journey. So in terms of design digital transformation roadmap, is there any agent that's helping you? Well, we use mainly human now, but at least AI agent, we try to make them plan. AI agent help us plan. Well, later all of us is going to be, as a user, we will be able to build an agent to work specifically in each task. So now what we see is that apart from having the AI tools, we're going to be having the AI that is understanding human language and use our command to use as a tool. We don't rely, we used to use IT guys. Now we have the tool, just a simple tool that we call it AI agent. Anything complicated, we used to ask expert or consult or implementer, things like that. Later we might just have easy agent that we can use, and then we might use humans still anyway. But when you ask about AI agent in terms of lay down the roadmap, I think this is something that you might use different experts to do grounding, to teach, to conduct the AI model so the AI can understand the context deeper. But at least it's a screening tool to give you easy advice. As a beginner, it's pretty much a simple step for you that you don't have to do anything much further. It's your assistant. Yes. It's a concept that is a co-pilot. It's not the pilot. So, can I ask Miss Orapun, design digital roadmap? Where does it start? What is the beginning? Where do we start? Well, this is something that I talk about all the time on behalf of McKinsey. McKinsey try to track on financial association. Let's say any financial institution around the world, insurance company as well. We look into mega company, mega corporate. We look into different corporate and we check more 93% say that we use AI publicly, say 39%, and we keep tracking in the 93%, all in all, how many companies can say exactly can say that they have the impact or they gain benefit or clear profit from using AI. It's about 10% only that declare they have higher profit because of AI with clear numbers. Or some company, the one that can say it out loud and with the evidence, and 10% they say it is highly profitable for them, and 90%. We look deeper, we see two archetypes of the people. First archetype is they want to transform everything, do everything, innovate first. They try to share, they try to distribute, and ask everyone for the company to try use AI. This is the first archetype. Second, we do it different type, the case and domain that we want to transform with AI, what exactly. And within that domain, we try to do from the beginning to the end so the impact is clear. Definition is what? Let's say if I have definition, the company is saying that they want to build pre-meeting coach for agent in the field for one domain, and the other one, document upload for fund operation. They want to build another thing, compliance. This is specific. This is a distribution. So when you say do end-to-end domain, for example, using the use case on agent productivity, so I would check the whole day in a life or life cycle of agent, what happened exactly in the day, task 20 or 10 things. In that list, can we use AI to help in that list? And how do AI transform? Do like that. That's end to end. That's how we think. This is the way that is going to create the sustainable impact, tangible impact, clearer impact. So you have to start from use case that you want to have real impact end to end. And then you work backward and look into the process, how AI is going to fill in. But you're not going to force everybody to use AI separately on silo like that. That's very difficult to track down the progress. Yes. I agree. My client is Chinese and digital savvy. The head of the company is saying that aspiration is that they want all employees using AI tool. 1 year coming back to talk to them, and he said that one whole year I told everyone to use AI. They use it. What did they use? Just AI. But at the end, what? Don't see the clear result from AI, no tangible result, and they change the way. So we partner with them and we ask exactly flagship, ask directly what exactly do you expect from your employees so that you can do it. I understand that all of you use AI anyway, but some of you use AI in daily life in the way that for entertainment. For example, you change your face to cartoon Ghibli or use for horoscope. Some people use for mental therapy, like psychologists, for example. But in that case, it could be difficult to drive impact or do S-curve for your company, right? But coming back to Mr. Bin, Beryl 8, so when you design digital transformation roadmap in the definition of Beryl 8, how do you define? First is AI strategy. AI strategy is not just identify use case. It's about governance. It's about, employee or staff have to be ready for the change. And then also the training as well. The change management as well. Coming back to the focus, I think this is you have to identify, let's say, AI use case. You have to define use case that you want to do it, like in your company, what exactly do you want? When you prioritize and then you check, next is to do prioritization. And then that's based on impact that's going to happen. It has to be measurable impact for the complexity. From the beginning, the first use case that we did is a use case we see that high impact capacity, complexity little, we can do quick win within short period of time, 2-3 months. Apart from doing this type of prioritization, starting to implement, at the same time, what we have to do is we have to do training so that the staff and they can use AI. Using AI, there's so many ways to do it. Using AI, we talk about employee. We have to use ChatGPT, Copilot, and use Gemini. Just use it for make it accessible for all employees. Accessibility means you have to use it in a secure environment. If you use ChatGPT free, all these are gone. Information leaks out. How do you make it secure? It has to be safe and secure in your organization. No leakage of information. So when your employee get to use it, everyone in general, make it, if you want to do roadmap or transformation, it's got to be AI daily life assistant. So they say that if one staff use AI to help their work in the same task, it can reduce the time up to 3 times. 3 times faster. That's a lot for one task. So, Speaking of AI, the next step is to pulling out the knowledge, using the knowledge for your organization, use it to connect to AI so your staff can access that. And so I gotta say that the key to bring the knowledge, this is key. This is something that is a game changer to create competitive advantage for your company. Because when you look into AI, we talk about ChatGPT or talking about any kind of model out there. Every organization in Thailand or around the world, we have it all equal. Everybody has that. but the only thing that is different is the data within the company. This is the intersection when you can bring in the data, your own data with AI. This is the competitive advantage for each organization that you can use AI. And after that, we can bring in the knowledge to combine with AI and make it accessible for your staff. When you can access that, the next step is we can expose the AI to your customers or the other people. You're not going to invite your customers in first. When you do AI implementation, the most difficult thing is not implementation. The most difficult thing is how to not make it hallucinate, no bias, to be factual, accurate. We spend a lot of time with this so that we can ensure this accuracy, and we have to give it some time to train them, to actually kind of train our staff internally first, and we allow these people to use it first before we use it for your letter to customers. We used to have use case that we tried. It's a trial, just an example. Let's say I want to buy a fruit. Let's say it's a chatbot from Central. I ask in the chatbot, and chatbot say that it might say top supermarket, but it says gourmet market, and that's the competitor. Is it wrong? Yes. Well, it's not wrong, but it's the competitor. So we have to have something. You have to control. You have to have guard well to ensure that it answers correctly before we complement like externally. And after we have the use case that we can track down good performance, that would go to scalable to other use case. And when organization have clear strategy and no priority before we implement, that's going to be in a good curve. It's going to be in the ahead compared to the competitors.
Use case หลายตัวที่นำมาใช้
And that will lead us to even more use cases. I would like to continue with challenges. The first thing came to my mind after you mentioned was about how to pull the data together and even give access to them. In my understanding, eventually we will need to have some authority level in terms of access. But even before we can pull the data together, some of the data owner doesn't want to share the data because they believe that data makes them important. For example, if you are the sales team might feel like
ทำให้เขาไม่โดนไล่ออก
by having their customer data with them, it allows them to be protected from AI. But how can we work around this based on your experience? How can we tackle this issue in order to pull the data together from different departments? Actually, in this case, Very 8 actually started from CRM, so we have a lot of sales process involved. The biggest concern for sharing their leads or their sales information was, as a matter of fact, everything was being analoged before we started even the CRM system. At the beginning, in order to gain some commission or referral fees, you need to have some data key into the approval system, and the hardest part is possibly the broker and the insurance company. But if you are an insurance company or the insurers, there's not much of an issue. The biggest issue that you have to agree that when we talk about data, it's not just about access. The data that we can use, sometimes or most of the case cannot be used right away. You have to do some data prep. You have to clean the data. It's not that you can just, I think many of you, when you think about AI, like Google Notebook LM, what happened was you believe that you can throw in all kinds of files into Notebook LM and then you can ask Notebook LM to extract the data for you. In reality, Notebook LM doesn't work with lots of sources of data, not that many sources, and doesn't have to work with some sensitive data like salary. In some countries, there is authority and access control and governance for data access. In an organization, there are steps to return the data in order to help the AI to provide the right response. That it might be time consuming, but there are steps that we need to put into place. For example, if we have a PDF file, in order to make sure that AI can search in the PDF files as a word or as a sentence, how are we going to label the data by sentence or by paragraph or by words? That's how we can make use of the data. More importantly, if it's graphic, like in the PDF file, how can we make the graphic searchable? So they have to convert from picture into text first, so they can use the data into search and data retrieval. So data prep, data labeling, and all of these activities will allow you to use the data in practice in an organization. And this is the biggest challenge for me, and it's really time consuming. And it takes a lot of time to fine tune and adjust the prompt to allow us to extract the right data. And moreover, we need to make sure that the data that we need to know how many agents that we need to control the data, like Win mentioned earlier. Starting from the first agent, let's say this agent is in charge of department A, the second agent is in charge of department B, but during the prompting, there must be another agent who understands the context of the question, so the agent knows which agent they need to connect with to continue retrieving the data. And when they get the result, there must be another agent who is like a big rack. They have to pull the data into, to make a decision whether if they need to combine with the data from the internet in order to make a sentence and respond to the user with the right context based on the objective or the prompt. I think this is the real challenge in how we can bring internal knowledge and make it available for all the employees to access. It's not just throwing in the data and downloading the data. There are many more steps to take before we can use it. Kun Win, do you share the same challenge? I think it goes back to, I think it's very similar, yes. Everybody knows that whenever you want to use new technology, it doesn't have to be AI. If you want to apply a new technology, the challenge is the complexity in your legacy system. It's not that you can just use the new system right away. It's not like your home. There are two options. First, if you cannot do full integration with the existing system, you might need to divide the task into smaller pieces of tasks, and then you can use AI to address each of the tasks separately. Like an assistant, to see which one gives you the actual or the best result or impact. Once we have found that, you can redesign a more automated system in order to use the AI to address the whole process from the beginning to the end. And that requires integration with the legacy system, and the connection must be appropriate, starting from the basics. When you want to connect AI tools with your database or your customer database or whatever database, first of all, you need to control the access. You need to have good control of access. And secondly, you need to verify the access, which is the governance stage. And that covers all kinds of tools. And this is what makes the difference between the free and the paid tool. Free tool just help you finish certain tasks, but for the paid tool, they also take these into account, everything including the output or the content, the verification and validation. At Microsoft, we can even create like red team and blue team. If you want to use security concept, we let one team to try to find a loophole within the AI app that you are developed. So like a white hat, just like red team, right? And the blue team is actually the protector. So red team is the attacker. So this is a tool that is available in the system. And when you want to create an AI, this can be another tool that helps you, because it's not just knowing what goal it is and develop an application. No, because there might be some other risk that it might be unforeseen before you can use it. And that's another point that you should consider. But to begin with, we can enjoy our quick wins from simplifying the complex task, breaking it down into smaller tasks, and let's see if you can use AI to certain steps. Let's say what you are doing with Excel nowadays. The new Microsoft Excel will be embedded with Copilot, and you can use the Excels or the Copilot in the Excel. You can ask questions with the Copilot in order to gain some insight from the existing works. Sometimes some of the works that you have to do it manually, and that includes Words and PowerPoint, Copilot will be embedded into them. And let's see if we are successful with the AI, you get better productivity. let's say you get better productivity from this and that, and then you can start thinking about A to N. If you want to be fully automated from end to end, what is the actual investment? What is the outcome? We might not expect the outcome to be perfect or to see more productivity from your staffs or spare time directly, but the more important thing is how much more time we can serve the customer, or how can we reduce the business process like down from hours to minutes with the same amounts of people, so the same amounts of workforce can handle more load. Or in the past, we never talk about this. It is about hyper personalization at scale. We can even create a personalized package for insurance, like one-on-one package for the customer who via online system by getting input from the customers. We can ask them what they want, where do they want to travel, how they will travel, do they want to be more adventurous? Yes. So the package that we can provide, it's just like you are combining all the packages into a new package to serve the customer's demand. So if you are not adventurous, you don't really need to get into risk like if you want to be more adventurous, right? So this is a model where it will become more impactful for the business. Starting with some small use case, with simple use case with AI, and then we can make it more complex and then impactful. Let's go back to NIT once again. For me, I think data has seen some good examples in insurance business. I work with an insurance company from other country, and we know that they believe that they are the one who own the customer. Why do they have to share the customer data? So this is a very valid anxiety that you can see it in practice. The question is, how can we change their mindset? It is not that we are getting the data from them or stealing their customers, but it's the fact that we are helping them solve their pain points. And sometimes they say that they don't have pain points. They are very strong and they collect good data and they own the data. By keeping the data with themselves benefits them the most. In this case, we believe that it's one of the key components in order to drive the transformation. We need to work alongside with them to get them on board to help solving the problem. By building something and they don't want to use it, it will be useless anyway. So we need to get the buy-in since from day one. And one thing that we have seen quite a success was, since from the beginning, it was working by their sides to see what their pain points are. Or it might not be the pain point, or you might not even realize that that's the pain point, but that's the possibility that you might not see. For example, you might have a lot of leads with you. Maybe you have a lot of data list. Okay, you own everything, like 100 customers. The question is, every day, how many people can you reach? By building something, we tell them that if you do this, it allows you to unlock more potential. From 100, you might be able to reach more. Because you used to reach only 30 out of 100. But if you work with us, creating this new tool, you can reach the whole 100. Like many times per month, not just one time. We will make all the reach personalized, tailored, easy, and appropriately. And that will give you more opportunity to generate more revenue. This is one of the ways that we can work with the customers. It is as important as not just telling them what we want to build, but we need to think about what's the end goal, what's their pain point, how can we get the buy-in in order to encourage change, and they can put these new tools into good use. Another example in India, we know that these agents, they only use like 20% of their sales platform per day. At any day, only 20% of the whole agent force. We tell them that let's work together and look for what's the pain point. Then we found many, like, they don't want to use the sales platform. They want to use WhatsApp, because in India they use WhatsApp. They will only want to use WhatsApp. And with WhatsApp, can you tell what's the lead information? Can you generate the brochure? Everything can be done through WhatsApp. And they don't want to have a lot of message because we are overflow. Can we roll it down to 3 bullets? Only 3 things that you need. These are some of the insights that we only know only when we work side by side with them. In order to get the buy-in, you need to do this 1, 2, 3, only 3 bullet points every day. Once they can do that, at the moment, less than 6 months after we have launched, the active rate for this platform has been 80 to 85%. So one of the key learning from my experience is how can we work together with our clients, especially the agents or the influencers, to help them use AI. So it doesn't matter what change, you will need buy-in to begin with, because without buying in and you try to change, nobody wants to follow you. In the end, nothing will happen. There will be no change. Everybody will keep using AI the way they want to do, and there's no impact. So I want to ask Kunit for more information about the metrics that we have used. Because when you invest in a transformation project, I know that it requires a lot of budget. First, it's a very heavy capital. And second, a lot of time. Third, a lot of resource and power. I mean, everybody in an organization. And that includes other stakeholders, including the customer and the suppliers. So many people are losing their efforts because they don't see any quick wins or tangible results. However, they are still quite reluctant because if they want to focus, let's say if they are focusing too much on the short-term benefits, are they sacrificing long-term benefits or long-term gains? How can we find a balance? Do we have any metrics or indicators that we can use? Because some people say that if we see more revenue and more profit, that should be nice. Would it be a success? That is only part of the story. Yes, maybe people think about profit first, but how can we say if our transformation is the right transformation? Shall we continue or shall we change our direction? I think that's another very good question. Many people already have that issues in their mind, like the balance game between short-term and long-term game. Are we going to pay a lot, or what should be the prioritized initiative? What we normally do is, first, we have to start by setting the goal, just like you said. What's the strategy? What is your AI strategy? Why do you want AI? Do you want to drive revenue by, let's say, 50% by 3 years? Or do you want to reduce the cost to serve your customer by 15-20% for the next few years? Or do you want to increase your people's productivity, including agents and call center and maybe the operation team? Whatsoever. You need to start by what is the end goal. And along the way, yes, along the 3 year, we need to find a way to make us feel or give us some milestone or proof case that this is the right direction. So it is about, so let me share with you another example, going back to the agent issues. So if our goal is to improve your agent productivity by 50% in the next 3 years, using AI is, you can just tell them use ChatGPT is impossible to get 50% increase. But if we break that goal down into smaller tasks or activities, there must be something that telling us if we are on the right track. One way to think about the sales team, sometimes can we use the funnel system? Can we go through their indicators? For example, at the moment we can track how many customers can they reach. Let's say 30 customers per month, and they actually meet the customer in person, like 15 customers, and then they close 5 cases. In the near future, can we move up to maybe in a year after we start using the new system, at least, even though you cannot close any case, even though you cannot make any sale, but by using these two, the reach should be increased from 30 to 100 people that you can reach. That can be something controllable as a goal because it's driven through what we create and it's truly linked with the objective. And eventually, from 30 to 100, eventually, it doesn't matter how thin the chance is, you might see some improvement. At least you will see some sales result. This is one of the example. How can we rolling forward in order to see a clear result and allow us to see the track result after we have invested into certain business processes. And on the other side, we have to think about how can we slice the goals down to smaller pieces and allow us to be able to track, to make sure that we have the right milestone to indicate that we are on the right track. Okay, so first we need to know why do we have to do that? What is the objective? And then we know that in order to reach the objective, what are the key drivers? And then we can track the drivers in order to see if we are on the right direction or where we want to be, or is it the opposite so we can pivot before we are losing even more money and time, isn't it? That's right. Kun Win, would you like to add? I think in the end, it is about that. We need to make sure that we get the impactful use case or ROI that we are looking for. Many times when I talk to the customer responds with use case. But when we calculate that particular use case, so let's say they want to reduce the time to prepare the documents. Maybe they have, let's say, this 1,000 documents per month to process. At the moment, they only have 3 people, but these 3 staffs are very early staffs, so they don't get paid a lot. If they want to use AI use case, the investment might be 1 or 2 million. For the next 3 years, they might not get the return immediately. So this use case might not make much sense. Yes or no is about ROI too. Another customer we worked with, they want to develop an AI for the document processing too. Simply said, so whenever a supplier send an invoice to the company, maybe through an email, they have like 10,000 invoices coming in per month. So 10,000 invoices per month, normally what the staffs need to do, they need to open the email and looking at the PDF file and then compare the invoice against the SAP or the back office system to compare the PO numbers, a product line item, pricing, and all the numbers. If all the information match, they just type in the system in the SAP, for example. Now, once AI stepped in the past, they used to use OCR, but the issue with OCR was the supplier invoice looked differently. They didn't use the same format. So OCR alone doesn't understand the context. With AI, it allows the first AI agent to open the email. Second agent will look at the PDF file. The third one will extract the information from PDF. And the fourth will rearrange the context. And 5, integrating with the SAP to match the data if it's fully matched or not. If it's fully matched, you can automate the process. This process normally takes 3 to 5 minutes per person. Simply said, this use case saves 50,000 minutes per month from 10,000 minutes. From 10,000 invoices. So it goes back to the same metrics. So if they want to achieve saving, how much savings are they looking at? And then you can use that to calculate the ROI. Another use case was about claim assessor. Normally, what happens when there's a claim coming in? Let's say at the hospital, they want to claim for the insurance. The hospital actually will go back to the insurance company for the claim. And then we can develop an AI. This is a claim assessor AI. And this AI will go through the claims. Let's say when there's an incoming case from the hospital submit a case to the company. They will look at how the treatment or the procedure at the hospital is like and what are the medicines that they are giving out for this particular illness. When they see this information, they can use the MedLM. And MedLM will help with the analysis. And if it's aligned, it will be flow to the next steps. But when there's a disparity, there must be some human intervention, such as the nurse or the doctor from the insurance company to cross-check why they have to reimburse this. This check and balance system might not give you immediate savings, but you will see that if a particular hospital tends to be overclaimed, and that helps you a lot with the fraud detection, and that will be converted into the savings, being less reliant on the doctor or the nurse who you need for the intervention. And there are many other use cases. Actually, there are many good examples outside. Inspection, for example, for auto insurance. Normally, you need to send the dispatcher surveyor, and I think it will cost you a 200 or 300 baht per trip. Many times, you are trying to allow the customer to do the surveyor's job by themselves by using the AI. Like you turn on the camera and take the whole surrounding shot from all views of the car and use the AI system to help us detect the damage or maybe the scratch. And once they detect the scratch or the damage, they may have to assess whether if it's level 1, 2, or 3 damage. And that can help us save some time for sending our surveyors. And this system use only like 15 to 20 baht per one incident, comparing with 200 or 300 baht per one surveyor trip. This is quite a clear use case. And there are still many use cases. Many use cases actually, like Win just mentioned. We can see very clearly that when we use AI in our systems, we need to sometimes redraw the process. Let's say the original process. Let's say there are these following process steps 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we need to find a way to slips the AI system in, like sales or quotation. Can we use an AI to help us with maybe comparison to support the sales team to discuss with the customer in the next step? So what is quote comparison? So let's say we have our quote and then we have our competitor's quote. We can compare these two quotes and ask the AI to help us to make up the pitch so the sales team know what to say to the customers, how to sell basically, in order to win. And then it helps telling you what the winning points are, and then you can compare okay, these are the difference in the coverage, this is better. It helps automating a lot of processes. So the step is starting with the original process and find a place where AI can, it's like a business process re-engineering by slipping in the AI in order to help maximize the impact. So once the objective is clear, the process is clear, you can use AI to help you find the most impactful point of intervention. And for the interest of time, let us close with some final thoughts. So if our audience now have an idea to do transformation using AI, where can they start? Is there any recommendation from you? Can we start with Win? I believe that everybody is thinking about AI roadmap and strategy, and then choosing the quick wins. On the other hand, that I would like to mention is the price of AI per transaction will be cheaper. So there are some use cases that you used to prepare in the past. It might not be very valid, but in the past, it wasn't justified the investment. Let's try again in the next 6 months and compare the cost per transaction. It might be lower. Secondly, if you already have RPA, easier for you, you can turn RPA into more intelligent RPA with AI. It will be a very quick impact use case. I would like to ask you to do something a little more advanced. So we want to be AI-driven or AI-first insurance company. Why don't we try something a bit of a gimmick? For example, let's think about if you want a call center that can work around the clock. What would be the investment? Traditionally, it was very high, but at the moment, thanks to the technology, it allows us to create Thai voice and English voice contact center. Actually, last year, we already did that. We can develop AI agent contact center and made it available on your website. And this AI can also see the customer screen by turning on the camera, for example. Let's say if I call AI agent at the contact center, they will ask you, they can recommend you things. I can even show them the policy by the camera or show your trip plan. Because at the moment, AI can see the context. They can talk. They can start a conversation. They can even see through the video, and in the near future, this AI agent can even do your computer's job. So let's say if you want to apply for an insurance, they can take over the control from your screen and then help you fill all the information automatically. At the moment, we can do this computer use function, and this model is already available in the latest GPT-5. And we know that the cost per transaction might be slightly high, but I'm talking about the next year where the cost will be lower. If you want to do something fun like this, if you want to know, I would like to invite you to try, because everybody is talking about cost saving and all the things that serves the demand, but I want you to do something fun too. What about it? I think for final thought, AI is already inevitable. It's already here. So we need to start to see if you want to solve any problem, you need to go back to the original pain point or what you actually want to achieve. It might be in terms of monetary, it can be customer or user experience. How can we make them enjoy the experience better? Or even outside of the box, it might not be the return, but we can use AI to solve some real problem for you. I think setting the right direction can make the direction more clear and allows you to proceed into the right direction, and then can win. Okay, I'll keep it short. To begin with, when you want to use an AI in your organization, you have to create a culture of experiment, because AI is very new. Nobody knows everything about AI, and whenever there's always something new all the time. So you need to create a culture of experiment that allows people to conduct trials and errors in a safe environment. So you need to think big, start small, fail fast, and learn faster. I think it should be the culture that allows you to use AI in your organization. And don't expect that everybody will work 100%. 70-80% is workable, is usable, is practical. Lastly, I think what I learned from today's session, we need to start somewhere with some experiment. But the point is, you need to be sure that what you want to do, you need to know that it is aligned with your business objective too. It's not just doing for doing's sake. You need to know why you do that so you can measure the result. And next year, it might be cheaper. It might worth the investment, even if it's not today. Thank you very much.
Audio Jungle.